A little commotion for the hair. In my pink era. Don't you sit there and lie to yourself that this hair ain't cute when you know I look stunning. Oh, I don't know how else could have rocked it like I did. I'm sorry. I have purposely been ignoring the questions about my poster because a girl had to do what a girl had to do. Yeah, it's not giving obsessed at all. I think I'm very okay. Really. So today we are going to be talking about how and why I dropped over 25 kilograms of weight. This is going to be a Q&A plus showing you guys how I was able to do it. I had done a previous video on this. Like answering your questions on how to lose weight or like questions on nutrition, the things that I was testing and I was showing you guys via my Instagram if you don't already follow me. I don't know what to tell you really. You're missing out, that's all I can say. And I felt like at the time I did the video, I did not know much as I do right now, and I feel like I have more to share compared to then. So if you feel like you've seen this video before, you haven't, close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Big shout out to everyone who has been sharing their journey with me via my Instagram, like letting me know that you kind of got motivation from the fact that if I could start, you could. That is so cool. Considering the fact that this was the most requested video from my socials and stuff, I'm really excited to do this. The same will apply to you, so let's get right into this video. Why did you start your journey and why did you start losing weight? What was the reason? And so when I was young, y'all, I never used to know I was overweight. And I know this is funny, like I never really used to know. Like I used to breathe heavier than every other person. Like when going up the stairs or doing physical activity, I was always last. But I just knew like I was always last because I didn't, like to tussle. I never thought like I could be bigger than the other kids. So yeah, my reality was quite distorted. So and how I was made aware, by the way, was so out of my conscious. I don't like that. I don't like that. Basically the reality of people and the jokes that, the feedback that was coming back was quite that there's something different from you than the rest. Basically like through jokes and also like people just used to mention it, and then I got nicknames. Everybody goes like through this body shaming phase, I feel like, in high school or like whatever your adolescence. This is just someone who's gonna talk about how you look, whether you're skinny, whether you're fat. Yeah, we all experience it, and that's why I choose healing. When I became aware that I was a bit overweight and it was getting serious, it actually was very much insecurity. So everything I did then was because of insecurity. Yeah, so every time I put effort into my fitness journey before now was just me trying and attempting and failing because my why was so enrooted on how I should look instead of actually enjoying the process, if that makes sense. So I started everything. I used to take, girl, there's nothing I'm not done. I did it all. I took the apple cider, I did clothing, I did oats for like such a long time and starved myself. I used to skip meals, I used to starve myself. Like I really did everything. I used to take hot water after meals. Like I had so many phases. I don't even know like I was ever on the internet like, how the hell am I gonna drop this weight? Oh my god, fastest ways. I had lemon. I even got acidity from taking lemon in the morning, every single morning. I did it all. Basically, I ran the marathon. I gave it my all. Give it all, winner. It was still, I feel like it was still fueled by insecurity. It was never to enjoy the process. It was never to get to understand myself better or make myself healthier. It was more of I need to get skinny as hell and soon. What jump started now my current fitness journey that is more patient and slow and kinder to myself, and I feel like I'm doing better in terms of fitness than even like losing the weight. Because a lot of things caused me to be self-aware. So a lot of choices that I was making, a lot of people that I surrounded myself with, like everything was going wrong. Like everything was just collapsing on me, and I constantly had negative thoughts. Like I did not like have control of myself. Like I felt like there was nothing in my control at all. Like when it came to relationships, finance, spirituality, I just felt like everything was all over the place. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna just dedicate like 3 months to constantly put my body in motion every day and see the result. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy the process, and I'm lowering my expectations. Like, I'm not waiting for any flat tummy. I'm not waiting. Okay, but if you want to give me good, you know what's up. You know what's up. It was less of expecting, yeah. And at the time, I was like such a blackout drinker. I used to like drink. It stopped being about having fun, and it became more of like getting fucked up, and like to the point I can't recognize myself, and that has also some effects on your mental health. And so those two combined things, like struggling with control and the fact that also my health was deteriorating, I decided to go completely sober for like 3 months and work on my body and my mind. That is how, and that is the why I started. I hope that is like a revelation for you, and you are able, if you're in the same place and you've always been constantly starting and stopping, I feel like you can apply the same mentality that I had in terms of lowering my expectations and just doing it more for the love of myself than and the love of the body I've been given, more than expecting to reach a standard to fit a societal standard for validation. Yes. So without further ado, let's get into the how and what worked for me. And I also hope that you look at this with an open mind in terms of like, be open to trying things that work for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same way, but you can apply some of these. So let's go. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is nutrition slash diet slash whatever you're going to put in your belly, because you are what you eat, babes. So when I began with the food, I'm going to be honest, when I started, all I used to do was like limit myself to strict healthy foods that I used to observe other people taking, not even considering if it's something I enjoy, which was the first mistake. So I think when it comes to food, all you have to do is basically eat just enough and not more than, just always whenever you're full, stop. Because I don't like to complicate it, it's not that deep. All I do is, as long as I'm full, I stop. And my food always consists of more proteins and veggies than my carbs. That's basically all I did. And a lot of water. Water was really good for me. And teas are your freaking best friend, bro. If you can have green tea, if you can just start exploring teas if you don't mind, because they're really actually even good for like your mood and just boosting and your energy. Like, they really are good for your digestive system as well. So I would advise that. Basically just throw yourself into the world of nutrition if you can. Like, start trying out substitutes for processed foods, instead of like going for a thing that at the back the ingredients are like literally the whole of the back, that basically just tells you that you're eating unnecessary sugar or additives. You can replace that with substitutes. Like, for example, a friend of mine, we used to say like every time we get munchies or like we want to eat, we would always opt to go for the healthier option. And it doesn't mean that we restricted ourselves also to junk food. Like, I used to eat, if I craved, I would have junk food as long as I counted for it, in terms of, the next time I'm working out, I go harder. As long as you're consuming things that are good for you. And I also came to see that food has such a deep effect on your mental health, like for real, and your mood. You can't be taking like really like non-nutritional foods and expect a better outcome in terms of like mindset and stuff. So yeah, really just watching what you eat. Elimination of red meats as well. I have genuinely like stopped eating red meat, and I've narrowed my dairy products except from milk, because I have that with my oats. So red meat basically isn't good for your cardiovascular system, and it really is high risk of diabetes. It is just genuinely known, but it doesn't mean don't eat red meat. It just means you can eat it, but like very few times. Opt for white meat, which is fish, chicken, etc. And plant-based proteins, because they have way better value compared to getting your stuff from the red meat. Fasting. I want to talk about fasting, because I actually did attempt to try fasting. I did intermittent fasting for some time. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't finish it, but it was very beneficial. Like, for me, it was amazing. I had such an amazing time, because my metabolism was way faster. And if you don't know what intermittent fasting is, it's basically eating at specific hours during your day and fasting for most of the hours. So for example, I used to eat from 8 all the way to 4. It can be 4, 5 or 6 p.m. or latest 8 p.m. and fasting from 8 p.m. all until the next day, probably 8 a.m. So you can see that's spending more time fasting and less time eating. Another thing that I'm currently doing is I eat 2 meals in a day. Like I literally have 2 meals in a day. I have heavy breakfast, a heavy protein breakfast, and also a balanced meal at lunch, and then I have a smoothie for dinner. And that has been working wonders for me because I want to do that as a substitute to fasting. Do not starve yourself. Food is fuel, and that's why it needs to be used well. So I would advise that you portion your food. Instead of starving yourself, just portion your food to what you can finish, and make sure your plate is just full of veggies and proteins, and you're good to go. When it comes to working out, you need to start small, listen to your body, and lower your expectations. So whatever you decide to do, whether it's skipping, it's running, I don't care if you want to jump every day for just 20 jumps every day, that is enough exercise. Like, I push yourself, but it's enough. Anything that entails moving your body is good for you. So start small. I mean, if it's today you want to walk, then the following day you can run, the following day you can jog. Even if you want to walk for a whole week so that you can mentally prepare for starting to run, that is what is called starting small. Pushing yourself a little extra every day gets us to a better result. And listening to your body. If you eat something or if you do something that triggers a response in your body in terms of like, it gives you muscle pains, some exercise give you muscle pains, or you're not comfortable, or food like gets you bloated but it's healthy, stop immediately. Always listen to your body and give it more of what it enjoys. If you realize you take a cup of tea and peppermint tea has really been keeping you like mood boosted, continue to give it peppermint tea. And yeah, consistency with the right thing. And finally, lower your expectations in terms of don't like do workouts for, because a lot of people have been DMing me and being like, I've been doing it for like a month now and I don't see any changes, or like the changes are so minimal. It's the same way like I was starting, like I did not see results for such a long time. Even when I was telling you guys I had started way before and I still wasn't seeing results. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep pushing for this. I really don't know. This is my final straw. If I don't have a flat tummy by tomorrow, it's done. Do not expect like it to work out immediately, because also your body needs to adapt. And just like physics, like the more you apply the same time and energy into something, you will definitely get a result. So yeah. Third thing is running and walking is so underrated, and let me tell you why. Running and walking boosts your cardiovascular system and your heart like health generally, and it's basically moving your body, and it keeps you grounded on earth, which is really nice. You know, that's your locomotive. You're like a car, and moving is like, you know, moving your car. So why wouldn't you want to do that? It's really good to do, even to clear your mind. It's good for your mental health. I would advise that if you do not run every day, at least walk every freaking day. It could be the morning or at night. Choose a day to just stretch. Even if you want to do yoga, I feel like that is equally the same. And another thing is, there's nothing like not enough time for something. I think there's enough time to do a lot of things. It's just like planning yourself well and managing yourself well and putting your priorities straight by doing the hard things more often so that they just become easier. And that's what I did. For at least 30 minutes maximum, have yourself running or walking outside. And you can just listen to music, you can listen to a podcast, you can take yourself easy, but move your body. Another thing I want to say is lift weights. If you have access to a gym, I would advise you to genuinely get into, if you're new, find out how workouts are done on YouTube. There's like literally so many gym workouts that explain the form. And start lifting weights, because lifting weights boosts your strength and also like gets you to your goal faster in terms of weight loss. Because I actually lost my most of my tummy fat, because I used to have such a big tummy because I used to drink a lot. So what really helped was actually lifting. Like I started getting the lines of abs because of actually lifting stuff. So how do you stay motivated or self-discipline? Oh, okay, that is interesting. I tracked my progress. I have an app called Nike Run Club. It's by Nike. It's really good. And each day it tracks how many kilometers I do, calories, and this keeps me motivated, because every time I skip a day, there's a space. So it'll go from either Friday, if I skip Saturday, it'll go right to Sunday. And then I have like lost my track. So basically, it's really good. Number 2, I had to cultivate self-discipline in terms of actually denying myself things that I wanted to do that were easy, and force myself to do the hard things, because I don't think you can do it without self-discipline, because it really isn't easy. And finally, the gains that I was getting and the results eventually started to really motivate me, because I was like, if I'm getting, and not just in terms of physical, like how my mental health would be better, how my skin would glow, like how good I felt about myself, how the dopamine really used to hit, used to really motivate me, because I was like, I if I work out, I get hit by this feeling of intense joy, and it boosts me out throughout the day. So yeah, can you recommend some workouts for face fat and a small waist? You can't get abs or small waist without doing cardio. So basically, you have to put your body in motion that is keeping your heart really, really, really beating. That's jumping jacks, that's skipping, that's literally like doing what will make you sweat, and then accompany it with ab workouts. That is way more effective than just doing ab workouts, because you're literally wasting your time, because this is muscle and this is fat, and every time you just do ab workouts, you're strengthening the muscle, but the fat is still gonna be there. So yeah, how do you get through fat phobic friends and family? Oh, body shaping, or rather like people discussing your weight. And I feel like everyone experiences it, not just people who are overweight. I feel like also people who are underweight, or rather skinny. And I think with this, you've just got to really love your body, in sense that it serves you, it literally breathes for you, it breaks down stuff, your food for you, it is literally keeping you alive. So I don't see why you shouldn't love your body, even whatever state it is in. And so that is why, even if you like in my Instagram, even before I dropped weight, I was still very confident with like taking pictures, because I genuinely loved the body I was in, that no matter what way it looked, I still embraced it. But if I was, yes, I was working on it, but I still embraced it. So when it comes to people who shame you for how you look, that has nothing to do with you. They are just looking at you via their eyes and their own judgmental that probably they're even putting on themselves, and it has nothing to do with you. So you just need to love your body and just ignore whatever people think about your body, because it's not theirs, it's yours. How do I stay consistent? I kind of plan my days before. That way I just have to do what's on the to-do list. Like I don't negotiate. It's just a non-negotiable. I'm like, yeah, I just have to do whatever is on the paper. I've got to do it. Whether I fight about it, I'm just gonna have to do it. Being very patient with myself, in terms of if I gave up, if I felt broke down, I never, I never like beat myself down or anything. I was just extremely patient, and I went back and I learned it again. And if I felt like I didn't do this form right, I'd go back and do it again, and I'd ask people like, how do I do this? Yes, so basically being patient with myself and planning before, those two things will have you being consistent. I hope I have answered all of your questions. I love you guys, and I hope I'll see you next week. Bye.